Hey guys, this is Blake from Matt Kiteboarding here in Key West, Florida, and we're filming a kite loop playlist for you. So today we're going to be going over a heli loop and what that is. We've already covered that in our previous intro to kite loops video, but now we're actually going to learn how to do it, when to pull it, and what to do. So before we watch this, just remember to click the eye icon in the top corner of your screen, and we have this whole thing written out for you so you can download the PDF file, take it to the beach with you. And then we also have our favorite kite looping kites, so you can click on the link and then check that list out as well. And let's get to it. So heli loops are basically vertical loops which lift you up rather than pull you forward. So a regular kite loop usually pulls you horizontally, so it's looping and giving you some downwind pull, whereas a heli loop actually loops over your head, similar to that of a helicopter, which is why it's called that. Just like a helicopter, it can move kind of side to side, not just straight up and down. So you can adjust your loops, the heli loop, either on the edge of the window or either side of the window. So you can loop it over your head as you're coming down, which gives you a nice, soft, and smooth landing. So heli loops can be done even after you do a kite loop. So whether you do a mega loop, a regular powered kite loop, back roll kite loop, you can use a heli loop to then go after your pull because it maximizes the wind window and give you the most ability to catch yourself as you're coming down for a nice, soft, and smooth landing. So down loops, you come down a bit harder, but it at least catches you. Whereas a heli loop, you come down really soft and smooth, and it's almost like you just drop and just float to the bottom. Step number one is timing, and timing is key for this trick because what you want is to really get that kite to loop right above your head and do a nice 360, lifting you back up into the air, giving you extra hang time and allowing you to softly and smoothly land and then just ride away from your trick. So whatever trick you end up doing with this, the heli loop is added after it. After it, you can do just a straight air and then come down, do the heli loop, or you can start doing your flips or kite loops or any of the ones we've covered in this past one and do the heli loop afterwards. So timing of the heli loop, you just want to pull the loop right after your descent. So you want to reach your peak and start descending before you actually pull in and send the kite loop. So heli loop is pulled after you've reached your peak. So step number two is to pick a direction, and a heli loop can be done either way, just depending on where your kite is when you want to loop it. So let's say you're going to the left, you send your kite up, you're jumping in the air, you'll most likely loop the heli loop on the right side because that's your backhand pull and you've been going to the right. But let's say your kite gets a little bit farther back in the wind window there, you can loop it on the left as well. So just picking your direction and which side of the wind window is important for the heli loop, because before you pull it, you need to know which hand to start pulling on. So usually you'll just do a backhand pull, but just so that you know, you can also do them both ways. So heli loop back loop or a heli loop front loop, both things are just a vertical loop pulling you up rather than a kite loop which pulls you horizontal. Step number three is to pull hard on the bar, whichever way you choose, whether you're doing a backhand pull or front hand pull. As long as that kite is looping vertically above you, that's what a heli loop is. So really make sure to crank on the bar and push with your front hand and pull with your backhand, giving you as much tightening of the lines as possible to get that tightest loop, because the wider the loop, the more powerful it'll be. And this is a non-powered loop. You want a heli loop to lift you back up rather than start to loop and then dip into the power zone, which is then going to give you that horizontal pull. Also, never push out on the bar mid-loop, because what that does, it'll just generate a ton of power. Your kite will go crashing hard into the water and it's going to take you with it. So just make sure to always fully commit to any loop that you pull, because trust me that it'll be a much better experience if you just hang on to that loop, let it go all the way around, and it'll pick you back up rather than going down, hitting the water, and taking you with it. So I recommend doing all of these in straps, just because as you're practicing them, you are going to fall and you're going to want to kick the board off your feet, cannonball into the water, and always go out underpowered, because if you're underpowered, it's a little bit easier. Your kite will loop faster and it's not as risky, because when you're doing this, you're going to be probably messing up and doing regular kite loops or down loops instead. So just mess around with this on a little underpowered day and just get comfortable doing it. So in a heli loop, your kite is going to be looping from about 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So within that frame, it's above your head and it's not to the sides. So it's all above and overhead. Usually a heli loop will be done circling straight over your head. Just like if you think of a helicopter, it can be done a little bit to either side, but it's going to be a vertical loop, and that's why you're pulling it after your descent. Because as you're learning to jump, you know, when you send the kite, picks you up, you just kind of keep the kite at 12 o'clock and then it drops you. And the kite shoots overhead, drops you, and then typically what will happen is then your kite will shoot over your head and just fall out of the sky. So as you're learning, I'm sure a lot of you have had that happen. And so basically what we're doing is we're gonna jump up, pull in on that bar, hold it until after your descent, where the kite is now starting to shoot over your head a little bit, which is then gonna send you swinging underneath the kite a little bit, so that the kite is actually a little bit upwind of you. That's when you want to pull on the heli loop, and then it'll loop back around, generating speed and power, and then shoot back into the wind window rather than shooting over your head. So it's just all about timing with this trick and knowing when to pull it. And so really make sure that as you're jumping to pull and hold in on your bar so that it stays above your head, shooting up to 12 o'clock, staying there and almost overshooting a little bit before you pull it. So like we said, you can pull it with your front or your back hand, as long as that kite is vertically looping above your head. Step number 4 is to point your board downwind. And this is a step that we've just put into every kite looping video because you can't go over how important it is to always land downwind and not on an edge. If you think of your body weight coming down onto an edge, all of it being caught on that little edge of the board, it's not a lot of surface area to catch your fall. So if you land flat, then you'll be able to absorb that impact, land smoothly and ride away. Heli loop landings are generally very soft and you'll just kind of touch down really soft and gracefully into the water. But as you're learning, you will come crashing down, so just you can always land a fall even if your kite's already crashed into the water, as long as you land flat, absorb the impact and ride away. Step number 5 is to redirect the kite. So now you've done your heli loop, you've waited till after your descent to pull it. You're coming down, you're holding it on the bar, it's looping overhead, you have your board pointed downwind. But now that the loop's done, the kite's over your head, now it's time to redirect your kite and get it pulling you in the direction that you want to go. So step number 5 is to redirect the kite and have it pull you in the direction that you want to go. So whichever way you're going down with your board pointed downwind, you're going to pull in with your front hand that way, and then the kite will then go and take you into that direction. So that's how you do a heli loop. It's a very fun and useful trick. It maximizes the wind window, gives you nice, super soft landings, and it's just a lot of fun to get some extra hang time for that trick. So we hope you guys enjoy these videos, and if you do, let us know what you think. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you already haven't. And don't forget to click that eye icon button in the top corner of your screen for a PDF file of all these written out steps, our favorite kite looping kites. So that's it for this week, and we'll see you guys on the water.